Hi there, welcome to Sherry's Stamp Treasures. This is the third video in my series on heat embossing, and today I'm going to show you how you can alter some of your embellishments using embossing powder. So I've got some retired in-color brads here, and I'm going to take them and I'm going to use my embossing powder to change the color. Because we have so many different fabulous embossing powder colors in our catalog, I believe they're on page 167 of this year's catalog, we can use those embossing powders and alter them. So this is a Calypso Coral brad, and I'm going to change it and use the Cherry Cobbler embossing powder. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dip it into the Versamark. Make sure it's really well inked there. And then I'm going to use a pair of tweezers, and these, you definitely want to use tweezers when you do this, because otherwise you will burn your fingers for sure. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip it into the Cherry Cobbler embossing powder. And let's move that out of the way so I don't blow it all over the place. Okay, and then I'm going to use my heat tool and heat set it. And you'll see it go from powdery to kind of shiny. See how it's changing there? There we go. So we could leave it like that, but what I like to do is I like to just give it a few seconds until it sets, and then I'll do those steps again. So I'll dip it in the Versamark ink again, and then again in the Cherry Cobbler embossing powder, and then heat set it again. And it just gives it a little bit of a thicker look. Just make sure, yeah, it's good. It's easier to ink without the tweezers. Okay. I'll grab that. And if you're really quick, while the embossing powder is still wet, you can dip it in your Cherry Cobbler embossing powder again, and it saves having to do that Versamark step again. Okay. And then I'm just going to heat set it again. So now we've got a nice big Cherry Cobbler brad. Hopefully you can see that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so now I'm going to show you something else. Okay, so now what I've got, these are the Frosted Finishes embellishments from the holiday catalog. And I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to emboss it with gold embossing powder. So these are beautiful silver metal embellishments with rhinestones in the center. So I'm going to dip it in Versamark and take it and then dip it in my gold embossing powder. Tap off the excess. Get this stuff out of the way here. And then I'm going to take my heat tool. Yeah, it's changing there. And it gives it a completely different look. It's so beautiful. You don't see the rhinestones anymore. They look like just gold circles in there. Hopefully you can see that. Isn't it pretty? All right. So that's another way that you can use embossing powder. All right. And I still have a couple more ideas, so make sure you stop by again. Thanks for watching.